I am Shane Jones, making headlines tonight. A special economic report to be presented at this week's CARICOM Summit in St. Lucia. Barbadians obeying the plastic ban. A jet ski operator reliving the moment he rented the missing tourist vessel. And coming up in sports, India become the second team to qualify for the Cricket World Cup semi-finals.
Newsnight Headlines was brought to you compliments Omega XL.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC Newsnight, starting now.
Leading the news at 7, regional heads are expected to receive a report this week on proposals to help their countries return to a path of sustainable growth and development. Barbados government's Special Economic Advisor, Professor Avinash Prasad, is expected to provide that update at the 40th regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of the Caribbean Community. It starts tomorrow in St. Lucia. Professor Prasad heads the revamped Caribbean Community Commission of the Economy, CCE, which has been tasked to provide the interim report to the leaders. As we've been reporting, the CSME will be among the major items up for discussion. Several other matters related to security and regional foreign relations will be part of the deliberations. Secretary General of CARICOM, Ambassador Erwin LaRock, says the issue of blacklisting will also be dissected by regional leaders.
It's a problem that is not going away. Many of our countries have been blacklisted. Many of our countries have done what they've asked to be done, and yet they get themselves back on another list. The goalposts keep shifting, and we have a discussion and a strategy on how to go forward. That strategy has been put in place. Prime Minister Shastri himself has been leading on that, along with Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, Prime Minister Brown. So I think that's going to be for a very interesting discussion.
The ongoing Venezuelan migrant crisis will have the attention of Caribbean leaders.
So we are apprised of what is going on, and is there a common position? I think the other countries are not experiencing anywhere near that. The only other countries I understand that, well, they're not even associated with us. I'm speaking ahead of my time, as I was about to mention Aruba and Curacao, but they're not part of us yet. So I know they're also experiencing. There is exchange of information. I'm sure we'll be briefed on what's going on. But it's an issue, from what I can read in the media and some of other conversations, that Trinidad is trying its best to handle, and Guyana as well.
The ban on the importation, sale, and distribution of single-use plastics officially took effect yesterday. Now, items like plastic cutlery, egg trays, plastic cups, straws, and styrofoam containers are prohibited under the legislation. Many establishments across the island have been complying with the regulations, and they have alternatives in stock and on the shelves. Assistant Manager at Massey Holetown, Ina Haynes, explained the supermarket was prepared.
We get rid of all the plasticware, and we have paperware. We only have like the plastic bags to use for the produce and the chickens. For the time being, like if you buy a whole chicken, you have a bag to put it in. Also, the produce to put in, like the onions and potatoes, if you select in your own. And also, we finish with the straws. All the plasticware is gone. We only have the paperware now.
And with another phase of the ban in effect, many Barbadians have voiced support for the initiative.
I think it should have been happening a long time ago, and now that it is finally here, I hope a lot of people would comply with it.
I think they do a good job. Now they want to do it ever since. Not no. Because that me disgusted with the work. Where it's going to work, the people come and drop it out of my workplace and left it, they got to clean it. You know? So it's a good thing to do. The next thing they should do then, they catch you, till you're fine.
Listen to this. The operator who rented the jet ski to the U.S. visitors that disappeared last week at Holetown St. James has been speaking more about the ordeal. Art Neil Abbey is still hopeful they are found alive. More from Rianne Phillips.
Magdalena DeVille and Oscar Suarez disappeared after renting a jet ski from here in Holetown. But the operator at the center of the ordeal remains optimistic that the couple could be found.
I really hope that they can find the people and, you know, and they can come back safe.
That's veteran jet ski and water sports operator Anglican Abbey. He received the shock of his 20-plus year career, as the jet ski he owned and operated for the past 2 years was never returned after a rental to 2 clients on June 24, 2019. Those 2 turned out to be the American couple of Oscar Suarez and Magdalena DeVille, who are still missing after a lengthy 6-day search.
I saw them probably for the first 10 minutes riding around in the shipwright area off Old Town, and then I saw them pull out at full speed and then went south of Old Town. Within about 15-20 minutes, I was trying to get them back in. I was trying to get some guys to send my boat back this way, but nobody had seen the boat since. So I tried Paynes Bay, Sandy Lane, Fitz Village. Nobody at all seen the boat. I went all the way up by the Waves Hotel. Nobody had seen the boat. I got onto a jet ski, went all up by the harbor, checked all the surrounding areas. Nobody had seen the boat. I called the guys down Mullins, down Royal Pavilion. Nobody at all had seen the boat.
While a jet ski is designed to float, Mr. Abbey explained if handled incorrectly, it can sink.
If you're riding a jet ski, you turn over. You don't get the jet ski back over on time, it's going to take in water. By the time you get the jet ski over and it takes water in, it will be difficult for you to mount the jet ski, because with water in the jet ski you're mounting, it will keep flipping over all the time. All depends on how much water gets inside of it.
And while he welcomes the news of improved standards for the water sports industry, Mr. Abbey says the respective clients at the time will still have to exercise their discretion when riding the vessel.
Sometimes you might rent your jet ski, or you might tell a person, go to 200 meters from the beach and, do so and so, and as soon as they get on and they're gone out with something totally different. So it's all about following instructions and things. But I think that the GPS locating jet skis wherever they are is a good thing.
The operator says he spoke with the relatives of the missing couple to share all the information he knew about the situation. Rianne Phillips, CBC News.
Meanwhile, we're hearing that Prime Minister Mia Amor-Motley has met with the family of the missing visitors, Oscar Suarez and Magdalena DeVille. The couple was last seen on June 24th at about 2:30 in the afternoon. CBC News was informed by Press Secretary Roy Morris the meeting came as the family was due to leave Barbados. Ms. Motley again expressed regret. Barbadian superstar Rihanna made headlines at the Cricket World Cup yesterday when she attended the match between West Indies and Sri Lanka. Making even bigger headlines was her reunion with former Combermere school teacher, West Indies assistant coach Roddy Estwick. We reposted this photo with Estwick to her Instagram page, and part of the caption read, "My mentor, my chap, my MVP, my school teacher." Speaking to CBC News today, Estwick said he was happy seeing her for the first time in over 10 years.
What impressed me most about her is how humble she's remained and how much of a genuine person she is. From a mentoring point of view, I'm happy that she could say that I was able to impact her life in some way, but for me, I was just doing my job to make sure that all the young people that come here was treated equally and pass on all my knowledge and my experience and life skills and try to make them not only better academically but also better people as well going forward.
Barbados has an adequate number of ambulances to cater to the needs of the population. This assurance from Health Minister Lieutenant Colonel Jeffrey Bostic, based on information he's received from personnel of the ambulance service and the management of the QEH. He says there's no need to purchase new vehicles.
The problem has been the fact that because of the overcrowding at the accident and emergency department, and when there's no bed space in the hospital, it means that all of the bed spaces at A&E are taken up because you can't refer people to the wards. And when ambulances bring patients, then the trolleys that the people come in are used as beds. So that is really the major problem that we have in terms of having a timely ambulance service at this point in time. But I don't think that there's a requirement for any additional ambulances. It's just to make the service better, to improve the service.
Minister Bostic was speaking to the media during the official start of the 24-hour service at the Winston Scott Polyclinic. Challenges with staffing have prevented a similar service from being rolled out at the David Thompson Health and Social Services Complex for the time being. The minister says this has also affected plans to decentralize the ambulance service.
Had we opened the Polyclinic at St. John, we would have station an ambulance at that location. There was an ambulance at Harcourt Fire Station, but that was removed because the fire station was having some renovations and so on. But that ambulance is back there now, and now is the time ready to look at and to see how best we can utilize the ambulance service, and there will be some decentralization.
Management of the Koyman megastore, still under construction at Candle Hill Christchurch, has commented on a fire that occurred at the work site today. They say at about 11:45 a.m., a truck and crane subcontracted by Morjani Construction Limited caught fire at the construction site. Construction manager with Morjani, David Collins, revealed that the Barbados Fire Service brought the blaze under control. There were no injuries, but both the truck and crane were destroyed. The cause of the fire is being investigated. And following on from that story, the Barbados Fire Service has taken its message of fire prevention to the community. This time, it will be adopting a holistic approach when it hosts a fire prevention fair set for July 19th at the Bushall Resource Center. Fire Prevention Officer Natasha Ford says the focus is not solely on fires, but other hazards as well.
Most of the times we recognize that when something happens, it is always what we class the civilian, the outside person who is there on the scene before us. So why not take a program to the community, empower these people, teach them how to act if anything should happen, so that they can help to mitigate and they can help to, bring some sort of comfort to themselves until further help can arrive.
Ms. Ford says the program is not a response to the recent deadly fire that claimed the lives of a mother and son.
We actually wanted to take the program there. We had the original date was
21st of May.
21st of June.
Yeah.
June. This is July now.
Yes.
Yes, June.
Yeah.
It's 21st of June. And that did not come off because certain things were not in place. And surprisingly, when we heard then on the 22nd that they had that fire and 2 persons lost their life, immediately sent out, could this have been avoided had we gone into the community when we said we wanted to?
The National Council on Substance Abuse is embarking on a 6-week media campaign this summer entitled Take It Easy. It will include promotion on radio of responsible alcohol drinking, designated driving, sharing of safety practices to prevent drunk driving, and promotion of safe sex during the crop over season. Board member Kevin Henry says it is vital for the council to be visible during the crop over season.
While we have a captive audience with across Barbados, everybody's looking to have fun and put on the feathers and the clothes. We at the council thought it was important that we be part of that and share the message that we stand and represent. Of course, the council, oftentimes people aren't fully understanding of the work and the interventions that we make, in helping reduce the demand for drugs and the usage of it across the society. And we thought that this media campaign would be a good example to have a broad-based approach in helping people to hear the message.
And CSA Deputy Manager Troy Wickham says the Take It Easy campaign will be everywhere in July.
Our program officers are scheduled to make appearances on various platforms, including the 98.1 The One, Hot 95.3 FM, to raise awareness on alcohol use and abuse, especially during the crop over season. Engaging party goers at various events, and we have roadside giveaways as well as part of the program.
Checking in with our regional neighbors now, weeks after Jamaica sent its first shipment of mangoes in 20 years off to the U.S., a Jamaican exporter wants more protection against prey larceny. 12,000 pounds of the fruit were exported. We hear more in this TVJ report.
The Minister of Agriculture expects mango exports to pick up over the next year, with more farmers looking to get in. But this farmer, Norman Dawson, who made the recent export possible, says the laws to protect mango farmers from prey larceny are too weak.
It is hard for a farmer to say I'm going to invest for 7 years, and then while I'm sleeping, I'm hear the tree shaking. And Mr. Preda last night gone with the mango. And Mr. Police say him can't bother arrest him because it's just a mango. We have to mature. If we don't mature and realize that this is a product that will help everybody, not only the thief and the people who buying from the thieves. it has to be under control.
Mr. Dawson's farm sits on 22 acres of land in St. Thomas with about 560 mango trees. He says he's invested 14 years pruning the trees and growing them to maturity, but thieves care little about that investment and by their act jeopardize prospective jobs for mango pickers.
Crime Stoppers Trinidad and Tobago is cautioning the public against purchasing counterfeit goods. The group says some of these items can be harmful. We hear more from TTT.
One of the most pervasive forms of corruption and criminal activity in the world today is illicit trade. That's according to Director of Crime Stoppers Trinidad and Tobago, Darren Carmichael. He said the sale of counterfeit products could have a severe impact on the economy and could possibly be linked to more serious crimes.
Unchecked, it can be a factor in the spread of diseases and a serious threat to the health of our citizens.
He said it can even act as a major source of funding for organized terrorist organizations as criminal elements to invest profits from illicit trade activities.
In 2017, an estimated US $1.1 trillion was generated by illicit trade, and the trend indicates that it might reach up to $2.8 trillion by the year 2020. Crime Stoppers International actively monitors the integrity of the reporting platforms provided by its global network of over 26 affiliated programs in different countries.
The end goal, according to Mr. Carmichael, would be the establishment of a task force specifically designed to work with the various stakeholders.
The Anglican Church in Guyana has been recognized by President David Granger for its role in building a cohesive society. Mr. Granger joined members of the All Saints Anglican Church in New Amsterdam to celebrate the 180th anniversary of the church. More in this NCN report.
The church, which is one of the landmarks in Berbice, was consecrated on June 30, 1839, and over the years, it has been the home of thousands of worshippers. Addressing the congregation, President David Granger noted that the church exemplifies its egalitarian character by showing that persons of different social strata, economic background, and ethnicity could come together to worship, support each other, and serve the community. He said the All Saints Anglican Church is part of New Amsterdam's rich architectural heritage, since it is a good example of how differences can unite.
This imposing and impressive wooden church is part of New Amsterdam's rich architectural heritage. The National Trust has identified it as one of the town's 39 historical sites. We, not only the congregation, not only the clergy, but also the central government, have a duty to preserve and to protect this building for posterity.